Let's make my Simpatico quilt pattern using a layer cake. One 42 count layer cake will yield you a 54-inch by 56-inch quilt, and I am using Gail Lorraine from Art Gallery Fabrics for my fabrics here today. But let's go ahead and get started. With each 10-inch square, you are going to cut one 5-inch by 10-inch rectangle and four 2.5-inch by 5-inch rectangles. And that's it. Pretty simple and easy. You'll just have to repeat this step to all of your 42 count 10-inch squares. Once everything is cut, you can rotate your fabrics around. Then select four 2.5-inch by 5-inch rectangles in two different prints. You'll alternate between the two, and you will then need one 5-inch by 10-inch rectangle. First, you will sew all four of your 2.5-inch by 5-inch rectangles together to form a 5-inch by 8.5-inch rectangle. Then you are going to sew it to your 5-inch by 10-inch rectangle. And as you can see, it is larger than needed, but afterwards you can go ahead and trim off the excess. Now, if this isn't your favorite method, you can trim your 5-inch by 10-inch rectangles down to a 5-inch by 8.5-inch rectangle before you sew it to your stripy block, but either way the outcome will be the same, but I do like to show a few variations every now and then. So go ahead and pick your favorite method and repeat this step until you have made a total of 42 quilt blocks measuring at 9.5 inches by 8.5 inch rectangles. Once all of your blocks are completed, you will lay them out side by side in a 6 by 7 block layout. For your odd rows, you will lay each block with the stripes on the right side, and for your even rows, you will flip your blocks 180 degrees so your stripes will be on the left side. Then, as always, you will sew your blocks together to form rows, and then lastly, sew your rows together to complete your quilt top. And here is what my quilt top looks like completed. For the backing, I am using a coordinated print from within the collection. And for the thread choice, I am going with glide threads in the color Seafoam. And here is what my Simpatico quilt pattern looks like all finished. For the quilting, I went with Fabulous Feathers, which is one of my all-time favorites. But if you could please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.